Yeah, well, actually, although most of the time I'm doing modeling work, I have actually been to acting school and I do acting roles. I've done stage work in Shanghai. I've done several plays on stage. So I got called in to do a casting for this role, but I had absolutely no idea what it was for or what it was about. Nothing. I came in and they dressed me in these clothes and got me to walk backwards and forwards and look like I'm thinking deeply about something. So that's what I did, and then I got the call back a few days ago saying, you've got the job. But still, actually, I didn't know what it was all about and what the role was or what the story was. I was under the impression that it was for a TV series or something like this. Yeah, I found doing this role really, really fascinating. I've never really played a genuine historical character before. I've never been in a documentary playing a character like this before. And I like history. I like learning about different aspects of history, and particularly, where a character like this finds himself in a completely different culture, and in a time where there was no more than a small handful of people who were foreigners in China at the time. And so that aspect of it is really fascinating. And the spirituality, the work of the Jesuits is also very fascinating at the time, that they had this emphasis on doing works, service perhaps, I think you might say, service through works, service through art. He must have been a really amazing person to give up his life in Italy and move to a completely different country at the other end of the world for the rest of his life. That's quite a commitment, that I don't think many people would do these days. And so when you step into those shoes and you keep that in mind, you do get a sense, especially when we were shooting in Hengdian, where the set looks very authentic. It sort of puts you in the time and place. You really do get a sense of being this somewhat isolated foreigner in a strange land, but with an intention, with a mission in mind. Oh dear, the biggest challenge. Oh dear. The cold was one, but I don't know if that was the biggest one. The biggest one, I guess, is the way that these productions work. Sometimes you sort of have to step into his shoes, and the only information that I got about the character was from you guys, not from the production team, not from the Chinese crew who were running it, not even from the director sometimes, who was directing me in the scenes. But despite those challenges, like when I spoke to you and Jerry and Emilio, learning about Castiglione and his life, that made it something really interesting to play. Like normally I'm doing TV advertisements and things like this where you have to smile with a product, and it's really fake. Whereas this, you're playing someone who has really a genuine inner life and is aspiring to do something in terms of service and duty to something higher, and so his hardships were way more than the hardships that I had to face doing this shoot. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of sympathy for spiritual points of view. No one in particular, but that the spiritual dimension to life, to me, is a very important consideration philosophically, and one that I think is definitely lacking or missing or being eroded by our modern lifestyle. And so in that sense, it was really, or it has been really, really nice, really fulfilling, actually, for me, to play a character that really does have a genuine inner life, and to be able to do something to portray that is fulfilling. It's very fulfilling. So, in my study of philosophy, I don't necessarily subscribe to the predominant view right now about a materialist reality. I do feel that it's important to try and, let's say, resuscitate this inner life, this spiritual dimension to life, and that this spiritual dimension to life has a role to play in the 21st century. That's really important to me. So, in a way, doing this role is really, for me, a sense of serving that ideal for you guys, which is great. Oh, I really can't imagine the depth of skill that someone like Castiglione must have had to do those works. The horses, the detail of the 100 horses, the little bit that I got to see, was just spectacular. And to hear that it took 4 years to complete, and he couldn't make one single mistake because, once the ink is on the paper, that's it. That is just astounding to me, and you can really see it in the work, the precision, the mastery, the quality, the feeling. It's all there. Yeah. I'm needed on set again. Before I continue,